The Saints Row reboot was one of the worst releases of 2022, and now we've hit its 1 year anniversary, but it's not looking positive for Volition because they are now putting it onto PlayStation Plus in a desperate attempt to get players into the game and to recoup costs. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media so you can see when my content is posted, and of course if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. Now this was actually leaked, but they've officially confirmed it. It says PlayStation Plus September 2023 lineup includes Critically Mauled, PlayStation 5 title. Now I've had to talk about the Saints Row reboot quite a lot on the channel because leading up to launch, it seemed like it was going to be a nightmare for them. After launch, things were definitely not good for Volition, and the game came out officially a year ago, but things have still not looked up for them. They have not been able to win people back to this game. They've released some DLC, some smaller updates, 2 or 3 larger ones at this point, and yet they still can't convince people to either swipe their credit card and buy the game or just support what they have done with this title in general. Whenever they post on social media about this game, they get absolutely obliterated. Hey, I think they deserve to, okay? This game was a abomination. It was a disgrace to the Saints Row name and legacy, and this title should have never been made in the first place. But now, in a desperate attempt to get players back into the game and to recoup costs still, they are shoving it onto PlayStation Plus. Now, there are 2 other games that are actually headed to PlayStation Plus this month that are good. I love Black Desert. It is a fantastic title. I would definitely recommend playing that if you haven't. Generation Zero, also great. Go and play that. I personally would stay away from Saints Row though. And it says PlayStation Plus subscribers are now getting a new selection of free games in September right on schedule. However, the starting PlayStation 5 game at the forefront of this month's selection is Saints Row, a critically mauled reboot that didn't exactly blow people away when it first released, and even over the past year since launch, it has never gotten to a point where I have said, wow, this game is in a really good state. With every update they do, people destroy them, people get mad at them, people say you just have not done enough yet again. What a failure. But if you go to the Metacritic, I mean, the scores for this game are abysmal. This is just the PlayStation 5 version that, of course, they're putting onto PlayStation Plus. A 61 critic and a 2.9 user score. These are not acceptable scores. Games should not be releasing and be buggy, be broken, just have mediocre content. I mean, this game was a clusterfuck of issues, and it's never really gotten better. But since it was announced, of course, they decided to put this on the official PlayStation Twitter/X account, saying your PlayStation Plus monthly games for September, the 3 that we've been talking about, and people are destroying them, not just because of Saints Row, but actually today when they announced these games officially, they also announced that there's a PlayStation Plus price increase. The essential plan is going from $60 to $80. The extra plan is going from $100 to $135, and the premium plan is going from $120 to $160. So these are some very significant price increases, and they think that, putting Saints Row or Black Desert on PlayStation Plus is really worthwhile. I love Black Desert, don't get me wrong, but you can buy it for like $10 now. Sometimes it goes down to $5, and they have a lot of free weekends for the game. Generation Zero, also non-expensive game. Saints Row Reboot, I think it is sitting at $20 now. And this just to me screams that PlayStation Plus might be struggling a little bit, right? We know that they need to make deals for these games. We have heard that they usually do it 2 ways. They either give developers a certain amount of money up front to have the game on, or they typically get a percentage of the downloads. I would assume with this Saints Row reboot, they were desperate enough to take either of those deals, and this is a way that Volition slash Embracer are just trying to recoup costs, because we know that this game did not make the money that they at least initially wanted, and we have not heard any updates that it has done any better. I mean, we know that the Embracer CEO had come out and said that they were disappointed by the game's reception and that they weren't really sure where the franchise was going to go from here. They said that it was polarized and that, there's a lot of things that could be said in details about it. I'm happy to see a lot of gamers and fans happy, even though they weren't. At the same time, I'm sad to see fans also are not happy. And of course, we have heard since then, it did not meet sales expectations. It had an underwhelming launch, as they described it. So this title has never really done good for them, and we will never know if it made money, because of course this had at least $100 million budget. We heard it was actually $120 million budget, which is crazy to think about for a game that did not do that well. But yeah, people are absolutely destroying PlayStation right now, saying things like a massive L for this month. If your highlight is the Saints Row 2022 reboot, you've got a problem, okay? That's the best game that you could get to headline your month of titles. That is definitely not a good look. So let me get this straight. You're increasing the price and then you give us this? Yeah, this is what they thought was acceptable. Why does the quality of PlayStation Plus games keep getting lower, but the price is increasing? It is hilarious to me that they truly thought that the Saints Row title was going to bring people in. And I used to love Saints Row. I still love the first few Saints Row games, do not get me wrong, but this reboot does not exist to me. I like to pretend it doesn't exist so that it does not ruin the image that I have of this once amazing franchise. I just feel like Volition has lost their way, right? If they really sat down, listened to fans, thought about the backlash that they faced, and thought about the feedback that we've given them, they could probably still make a half-decent game, but I don't really see that happening anytime soon. They doubled, tripled, quadrupled down with the Saints Row reboot. This was the game that they said that they were super proud of, and they didn't even really care if fans didn't like it, because we're just toxic to all of these individuals. But yes, the PlayStation Plus monthly games have been announced. The Saints Row reboot is on it, and they are getting utterly destroyed by gamers who are upset with this very mediocre title headlining the month of games. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.